My girlfriend faked a pregnancy to keep me from leaving. She even made me go to fake appointments. The nurse was her cousin. The ultrasound? From Reddit. So I waited until her birthday. Invited her whole family. Played the ultrasound clip on the TV. With the Reddit comments still on screen. My name is Eli. I'm 27, work in web development, and up until a few months ago, I thought my biggest problem in life was deciding between freelance and a full-time offer. Turns out, the real issue was the woman I was sharing a bed with. Maya and I had been dating for just under a year. Things started fine. She was funny, outgoing, and had a way of lighting up a room. But slowly, cracks started showing. She was intense. Not in a passionate, adventurous way. More like mood swings, jealousy, silent treatments when I didn't answer fast enough, and emotional guilt trips that started over nothing. I'd pull away, and she'd come closer. I'd try to talk things through, and she'd twist my words. It was exhausting. By month 11, I was done. We'd had another stupid fight, this time over me not answering her texts while I was at my niece's birthday party. I told her I needed space. I needed out. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just went into the bathroom and locked the door. That was at around 5 p.m. At 8:17 p.m., she came out. Her face was pale. Her hands were shaking. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "I'm pregnant." I didn't even respond at first. I thought I misheard her. I blinked, and all I could manage was a flat, "What?" "I'm pregnant, Eli." The world tilted. We always used protection. Always. I started racking my brain. Could one of the condoms have failed? Could she be lying? But she didn't give me time to process. She wrapped her arms around herself, sat on the edge of the bed, and whispered, "I know the timing's awful. I didn't want it to be like this." There was something theatrical in how she said it. Like she'd been rehearsing it. But still, I froze. What if it was real? I couldn't just walk out. Not now. She said she had already booked a clinic appointment. She didn't want me to feel pressured, she claimed. She just wanted me to know, and she hoped we could move forward together. Move forward. That phrase stuck with me. The next few days were weird. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't sleep well. Maya, meanwhile, had transformed. She was calm, sweet, always touching me, suddenly affectionate in a way she hadn't been in months. It felt fake. Too perfect. She showed me an ultrasound image a week later. Grainy, black and white. "That's our baby," she said, beaming. I stared at it like I was staring at a stranger. I didn't know what I was looking at. I couldn't even make out a shape. Something didn't feel right. Still, I didn't want to accuse her of lying about a pregnancy. That's not a card you play lightly. Especially not if you're wrong. So I asked if I could come with her to the next appointment. She paused, just a beat too long, and then said, "Sure. Of course. But it's super early. They won't let you into the actual exam. Just the waiting room." That was red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 came at the clinic. It wasn't a hospital. It was a small private women's health office in the back of a converted townhouse. I remember the paint was peeling near the entrance, and the receptionist didn't even look up from her phone when we came in. When they called her back, I sat in the waiting room, trying not to spiral. 15 minutes later, she came out with a band on her wrist and another printed ultrasound in hand. She said, "Everything's progressing fine." I looked at the paper. No name on it. No date. Just static. Maya kissed me on the cheek and tucked it into her purse like it was a diploma. That night, I asked her more questions. She snapped. Told me I didn't trust her. That she didn't need this stress while growing our baby. I let it drop. But inside, the suspicion had dug in deep. 2 weeks later, another appointment. I told her I wanted to be in the room this time. She resisted. Said the doctor preferred if the partner waited outside. But when I pushed harder, she caved. We drove there in silence. When we arrived, a different woman in scrubs opened the door. Mid-20s. Same dark hair as Maya. She didn't say hello to me. Didn't introduce herself. Just nodded at Maya, then waved her inside. I only saw her for about 3 seconds. But she looked familiar. Too familiar. Later that night, I remembered where I'd seen her. At Maya's cousin's birthday barbecue 2 months ago. She was the one who brought the karaoke mic and wouldn't let anyone else sing. Her name was Claire. And Claire was not a nurse. That night, when Maya fell asleep, I took her phone and went through her photo gallery. She had locked messages, but the images were there. All the ultrasound shots had metadata scrubbed. Except one she'd forgotten to delete from the downloads folder. I reversed image searched it. And there it was. On Reddit. Posted almost 2 years ago in a thread called Weirdest Ultrasound Pics Ever. Same image. Same fuzz. Same odd shape that looked more like a kidney than a baby. My stomach turned. Maya wasn't pregnant. She never was. She just didn't want me to leave. So she made it impossible for me to go. At least, that's what she thought. After finding that ultrasound photo on Reddit, everything inside me went cold. I didn't say a word to Maya. Not that night. Not the next day. Not even when she asked me to pick up prenatal vitamins on my way home from work. I kept my voice steady, my expression neutral. I told her I loved her, kissed her forehead, and told her I was all in. I played along, because if she could fake a pregnancy this well, I needed more than an image to protect myself. I needed undeniable proof. I needed to trap her in her own lie so that when it came crashing down, there'd be no gaslighting, no denial, no crying her way out. I started collecting everything. First, I got access to her calendar. Maya always synced her phone calendar with the shared tablet in the kitchen. I opened it up when she went for a shower. She had marked through appointments with little heart emojis and labels like baby bean, checkup, baby bottle da. I took screenshots of every one. Next, I checked her phone again while she was asleep. She kept most sensitive conversations in an app called Safebox. I guessed her PIN on the third try, her birth month and day. Inside, I found a hidden thread with her cousin Claire, the same one pretending to be a nurse. Their messages went back weeks. Some were casual, others not. But one stood out. Claire, he actually bought the Reddit pic? Girl, you owe me dinner and drinks for this. Maya, he's finally calm. I just need a few more weeks before I can announce a miscarriage and win him back for real. I read it twice. Then again. Miscarriage. She was planning a fake ending to the fake pregnancy. And she thought that would somehow make me stay? That's when it shifted. Before, I'd been trying to escape. Now, I wanted her to answer for it. I kept digging. She had fake appointment reminders, set to notify her in real time so they'd seem legit when she'd check her phone and rush to leave. I even found a set of screenshots of different ultrasound images from online forums, probably backups in case I asked to see newer ones. Every part of it had been staged, crafted. What she didn't know is that I had already contacted the clinic she claimed to be visiting. I told them I needed to verify an appointment for someone listed as my partner. The receptionist looked up the name Maya Walker. There was no such patient in their system. I asked, just to be sure, what about her cousin, Claire? The receptionist laughed. We don't have a nurse named Claire. We've had the same 3 staff members for 5 years. That was the final piece. The next part of my plan was simple. Gather evidence, stay silent, and wait for the perfect moment to detonate it. That moment, I decided, would be her birthday. Maya loved attention. She threw herself big birthday dinners, complete with balloons, champagne, family speeches, and birthday outfit photo shoots. It was her annual public spectacle. If there was ever a time to unravel the lie, it was in front of the people who adored her the most, people she'd never want to look stupid in front of. I spent the next week preparing a short video. I edited the ultrasound image to slowly zoom out and reveal the Reddit watermark at the bottom. Then I inserted a clip of me scrolling through the Reddit thread, with top comments like, "This looks like a blobfish doing jazz hands. Why does this baby look like it's trying to escape the screen? Literally save this to freak out my boyfriend later." After that, I screen recorded the message between her and Claire, highlighting the word miscarriage and underlining the date it was sent, 3 days before she had told me she was going to another checkup. At the end of the video, I added one final slide. White text on black background. This wasn't a mistake. It was a performance. Happy birthday. I didn't say a word to her about any of it. In the mornings, I brought her decaf coffee. I asked her if she wanted to sign up for birth classes. I pretended to Google gender reveal ideas. She ate it up. She even started calling me daddy. I smiled every time and kept the bile down. The day before her birthday, I confirmed the guest list. Her parents, her sister from Denver, her favorite aunt, 2 coworkers, and a few of her friends from college. I asked if we could host it at my place, make it intimate, cozy. She agreed immediately. She even cried, saying how grateful she was I was committed to the journey. That word again. Journey. She had no idea where it was going. The morning of the party, she was glowing. Dressed in pink, eyes done up with gold glitter. She made me take 20 photos of her in front of the hallway mirror. One for every week of pregnancy, she joked. I laughed and kissed her cheek. In the background, the TV was already queued up with the video. Muted. Set to autoplay once I clicked it from my phone. I tested it twice to be sure. By 7 p.m., guests arrived. Everyone hugged. Maya floated around the room like royalty, resting her hand over her belly. Her mom even gifted her a handmade baby blanket with embroidered initials, E+M. When it came time for cake, I tapped my glass. Before we bring out the candles, I said, I wanted to show everyone a little something. A memory from the past few weeks. I picked up the remote. Maya gave me a confused smile. What's this? She asked. I just said, you'll see. Then I pressed play. The video started with soft piano music and a slow zoom into the grainy ultrasound image Maya had shown me weeks earlier. At first, there were smiles. Her aunt clapped quietly. Her dad gave a proud nod. Maya tilted her head with a confused grin, like she didn't remember sending me that version. Then, the zoom out began. The Reddit watermark in the corner grew clearer. The music faded. The screen paused. Then the scroll began. Line by line, I watched the confusion on people's faces turn into slow, horrified realization. Reddit user. This is not my kid. LOL. Found this online to prank my boyfriend. Top comment. Bro, this fetus is doing the YMCA. Second comment. I used this exact one to mess with my ex, worked like a charm. The room had fallen silent. I saw Maya glance at me. Her smile cracked. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Then came the next slide, text messages. A screen recording scrolled through a locked message thread titled Safebox. First, her texts to Claire. He's buying it. I just need a few more weeks. Planning a fake miscarriage once I get him back on board. Gasps. From the couch, someone whispered, "Oh my God." Maya's sister looked over, stunned. Then came the final screen. The message where Claire wrote, "He bought the Reddit pic? Girl, you owe me dinner and drinks for this." Maya stood. "Turn it off." She lunged for the remote. I caught her hand mid-reach, placed the remote behind me, and calmly said, "Sit down." Her eyes flared. "Eli." I ignored her and turned back to the room. "Just so you all know," I said clearly, "Maya has never been pregnant. She faked every single part of it, from the clinic visits to the ultrasound. That nurse, her cousin, that picture." I pointed to the TV, downloaded from Reddit. Her mother gasped like someone had punched her. Maya was shaking now. "You're ruining my birthday." I looked at her, really looked at her, and said, "You ruined your own birthday the day you decided to fake a life inside of you to keep me around." She started crying, but the tears looked off. Too sudden, like she realized she'd lost control of the script. Her dad stood up. "Is this true?" She turned to him, wiping her eyes fast. "No." I was scared. I thought he was leaving. I didn't know what else to do. "Lying about a baby," her sister said sharply. I was going to tell him. Maya yelled. "I was going to say I miscarried." Her mom actually took a step back from her. The room was collapsing. Someone in the back murmured, "Jesus Christ." Then, slowly, I turned to the TV and hit one final button. The screen went dark. Then white text appeared. This wasn't a mistake. It was a performance. "Happy birthday." That was it. I turned off the TV and set the remote on the table. No shouting. No swearing. No raised voice. Just silence. I looked at Maya one last time. Her lipstick was smudged. Her eyes, still wet, flicked around the room like she didn't know who to run to. She opened her mouth again, but I spoke first. "Everything's already backed up. The screenshots, the messages, the video. Don't try spinning this into something it wasn't. And don't call me." Then I walked down the hallway, grabbed the duffel I had packed 3 days earlier, and left through the front door. I could still hear the murmurs through the walls as I stepped outside. Someone called my name, her aunt, I think, but I didn't turn around. I walked to my car, started the engine, and didn't look back once. The video was never posted online. I wasn't interested in public humiliation. This was personal, but her family needed to know who she was. And she needed to know I wasn't going to be controlled by guilt, fake tears, or the fantasy of a child who never existed. By the time I reached my friend Nolan's place, where I'd arranged to stay temporarily, my phone had already started buzzing. 9 missed calls. All from Maya. The 10th came in while I was standing in Nolan's kitchen, staring blankly at a glass of water I hadn't touched. Then a message popped up. "You didn't have to do it like that. We could have talked." I didn't respond. Another one. "You embarrassed me in front of my entire family. You're sick." That one made me laugh. I was sick? This was the same woman who downloaded a fake ultrasound from Reddit, recruited her cousin to play nurse, and orchestrated clinic visits like she was starring in a low-budget soap opera. And I was the one out of line. She kept texting. By morning, it was 24 unread messages. I didn't read most of them. I didn't care to. But one stood out. "Please, just don't show that video to my boss. Or post it. Please. I'll do anything." There it was. The fear. The panic. The understanding that I held something she couldn't spin. I wasn't planning to post the video anywhere. Like I said, this wasn't about public shame. It was about truth. Still, I wanted her to know how far she'd gone. So I wrote one line back. "Then I suggest you don't test how far I'll go." That was it. I blocked her immediately after. Later that afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. It was her father. "Eli, I wanted to apologize. On behalf of our family. I don't know what the hell she was thinking, but you didn't deserve any of that. You handled it better than I would have. Just take care of yourself." I played that message twice. The week after the birthday blow-up, I started moving my things out of our shared apartment. Maya wasn't there. I had coordinated it with the landlord and changed my lease status. Nolan came with me to help load boxes. We worked fast. There were small details that stuck with me, like how her prenatal vitamin stash was actually just repurposed Tylenol bottles with old labels taped over them. Or how the bathroom drawer where she kept pregnancy documents was stuffed with blank paper. She had built an entire fake life. For what? Love? Control? Desperation? Whatever it was, I didn't feel sorry for her. Not anymore. I just wanted distance. The fallout, from what I heard, was swift. Her cousin Claire deleted her social media. Maya's sister posted a vague quote on Instagram about truth always coming out. And Maya? Well, apparently she told people we had broken up due to infidelity. Hers, supposedly. Not mine. That part almost made me laugh again. Classic deflection. I didn't bother defending myself. People could believe what they wanted. The ones who mattered already knew the truth. 3 weeks later, I was back at work full-time. My mind was clearer than it had been in months. I started waking up without that heavy pit in my stomach. I stopped glancing at my phone every 5 minutes, bracing for drama. I slept better. One evening, I got a text from her sister. Just a photo. A close-up of a baby blanket, the one their mom had made, with the initials E+M. It had been ripped clean down the center. Below it, she had written, "She doesn't deserve a second chance. Just thought you should know." I never responded, because there was nothing left to say. The version of Maya I met at the start, the laughing, bright-eyed girl in the bookstore who asked if I preferred dogs or cats, that version never really existed. She was a character, just like the pregnancy, just like the entire past 6 months of our relationship. But here's the thing, I don't regret the video. I don't regret the party. I don't even regret the silence that followed. Sometimes the only way to cut through a lie that deep is with something sharper than words. A screen, a room full of people, and the truth, playing out in real time. That was the last gift I gave her, and it cost me nothing. And that's the story. If you're still here, that means you're one of us. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I drop new chaos every single day, and trust me, tomorrow's story, it's even worse than this one.